So last year I had a video that went really popular. It was a video that compared Mac versus PC in 2021. And now I actually changed my mind for 2022, and kind of the same things apply for 2021. So let's get right into it. I want to focus more on the music production side of like these laptops, but then I will get into how if you're a creator, some products could be better than another, and it depends what you want to do. So like, let's say if you have video editing, then you might have to start thinking more about, like, let's say GPUs. So let's start with what I said last year and the same things that apply, and then we'll get into some things that changed a bit, because I kind of got more into firsthand experience on each of the machines, and I bought new machines, upgraded my PC. So the first thing that's more advantageous when you have a desktop PC is the fact that everything is more customizable. So long term, if you have a desktop, you will be able to swap parts. Let's say something breaks, you need something new. You can always upgrade without changing the rest of your computer. So you can either pay someone to do it for you, or you do it yourself, but you have to buy the parts themselves. And that in the long run will always be cheaper. So if you don't have to be mobile and you want to make music or even video edit and you don't have to be mobile, then I think the best pick for you would be a desktop PC. Now there is the iMac and Mac Studio and also a Mac Mini that are, I guess, like comparable to a desktop computer. Any PC, desktop PC, will blow it out of the water. If you always compare the same pricing versus a iMac, you will always have your better bang for your buck for PC. The only problem, like I said from last year about PC, is that you're gonna have to install drivers, and sometimes there's compatibility issues when it comes to PC. But if you're not tech savvy, you can go with Mac, but definitely I recommend trying to learn all these little things like installing drivers and learning all the little cables that you need to buy to install stuff on your PC. So in the long run, a desktop PC will always be cheaper and more powerful than any desktop Mac that you buy. So in general, like I said, for any Mac versus PC, when you're talking about PC, you're always talking about cheaper and it's a bit more complicated to use. But then Mac is always more expensive and easier to use. So whenever you just plug something in, it's just going to work automatically like a microphone. You're never going to have to install anything new, no new programs to make it work. So that's like the general guidelines when it comes to Mac versus PC. That hasn't really changed, although Windows is making an effort to improve their OS. Like Windows 10 was absolutely a phenomenal OS, and I think anyone can get on board with that. They have really stepped up their game since, Windows Vista, XP, even 7. Windows 7 was like the best one before Windows 10. If you only make music, then GPUs are not really needed. And if you don't have to be mobile, then you can just run with a desktop without a GPU, and it'll be very cheap. You can even have something from $300 to like $600, $700 and be very happy with that for like years to come. If you only make music and you don't play games, you don't video edit, you don't do anything like that. Now, if you do video edit, this is where it kind of gets a bit complicated, because right now there's a GPU shortage and everything is super expensive when it comes to video editing. So nowadays, when it comes to GPU, Mac versus PC, they're almost the same. Like, you're paying just a couple $100 more for Mac and you're getting the same out of it, unless you find a GPU on the market that's like at normal price and from retail and not actually like from a reseller. Now for laptops, this is a entirely kind of different scenario if you want, because now you have to be mobile. The thing about Windows laptops, a lot of them are going to be cheap if you're going to be buying a like cheaper one, and if you only make music. So obviously everything's going to be kind of plastic and not very durable, so it could break easily. So you'd have to get like a warranty or something. But I kind of changed my mind from last year for laptops, because I did buy a new Mac and I'm loving it right now. I'm filming on it and I'm recording audio on it, and it's the MacBook Pro M1 Max. And the one big advantage with it is that it's got a very fast CPU, in some ways better than like Intel CPUs, and it's got a GPU for video editing for creators, going from place to place, different studios. With a Mac that is very powerful, you're able to kind of plug in anything that anyone else has. So let's say a new audio device that someone has to plug in a keyboard, anything, it's always gonna work no matter what. So if you're mobile, nowadays I recommend buying a Mac, and I know it's very expensive, but it is like my main new computer now, which I'm going to make all the videos on. Not necessarily film everything on. I wanted to try the new camera today, see how it is. It looks okay, not better than my Canon camera, which I usually have up there. But it looks good. You can see the cards in the back there. And the audio sounds pretty good too. And for music, it's gonna last me probably 10 years, 20 years, and I'll be able to work on this easily and video edit for probably like 10 to 15 years on it. But if you want to just make music around your house and kind of just put your earphones in and travel different places, you don't necessarily need to get a Mac, but you'd have to pay attention to what the other person has, you know, what equipment they have, because not everything is compatible with everything. There's always issues when it comes to PC when you're trying to plug a new thing in. And like I said, that's my new kind of take on it this year. Not much has changed. I feel like I see both sides of the coin better, and I kind of view them equally and how they have their own uses. Like if I'm not traveling at all, I'm definitely just sticking with desktop PC, and it's just staying there. It's going to be its own tank because it's going to be cheaper, and I can figure out my way around compatibility issues. It's not a problem because it's always staying here. So whenever someone comes in, they let me know what they're bringing, and then we can just plug it in and be fine. But you know, with a Mac, I'm traveling outside with it, and I'm always going to be, you know, like I never know what's going to happen, you know, and you never know what could, you know, get plugged into the computer, drivers, this, that. So it just works when it comes to Mac. So that's what I recommend. I know not everyone can afford all these things. Mac is going to be way more expensive, but you're gonna have to make your own decision. That's what I'm here to help you do. I hope you guys learned a little something today. My new opinion from last year just kind of like added on more. If you want to go watch that other video, you can. It's very similar opinions, but just, you know, that little tweak. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.